So each time I talk about Buffett, that is my favorite topic, what we call the focus investing, and to ease you in that concept, I'm talking to you about the book that inspired Buffett not to have focus investing, but he loved Ted Williams. But Warren Buffett is a fan of baseball. He is a fan of statistics, as you can imagine. And the picture I'm showing you right now is Ted Williams. He was renowned as the best baseball hitter of all time. He had a career of average of 400, and to this day, I think I'm not mistaken by saying that nobody has ever been able to strike, to hit balls in the 400s. 400, it means that 40% of the time, 4 times out of 10, he was able to swing and hit the ball for a single, a double, a triple, or a home run. So he wrote a book about the science of hitting, and that is from the book what you have like this. And he, in his mind, he divided the strike zone over the plate on all those little places, and he figured out where the ball was. And if he wanted to hit 400, he has to swing only on those three specific spots. If he swings when the ball is outside, he was going down in his average. So he has to be very, very, very disciplined. He has to be very control his emotion and to only swing on the ball that were onto his sweet spot. He will be strike out sometimes. He will be balled. Sometimes he will be booed. But when he was swinging for the fence, when he was swinging the ball, he was hitting the 400 mark. What does it have to do with investing, you ask? Some guy, Buffett talked about that, but some guy made a terrific graphic about that. It's from How to Pick Stocks Like Warren Buffett. I love that book. I still have it on my shelf, and I just scanned the interior to give you that. So I don't want to infringe any copyright, so I just want to give all credit to the author. So he says, okay, he took that analogy, he put it to another level and said, let's say you buy a poor company and you don't even care for the price you pay. You may have a hit, you may be lucky. So you may, the company may go, you may make money out of that, but let's say the batting average will be 350. That is, you will lose money 2 times out of 3. So that's not very good. But you can still make money by doing that because you can be lucky or have. Let's say you buy an average company that is better than a poor, but you pay a high price. So you may have a better average because it is a better company. So your batting average may be 500. Let's say you buy an average company, but at a great price or at a lower price, you will help your batting average. And let's say you buy a great company, but an average price, your batting average will still be better because you will have bought a great company. And then let's say you buy a great company and the price is a cheap price, then your batting average is almost perfect. You will almost hit the 900, the sweet spot. So if you think like that and you just want to buy great company at the cheapest price possible, then when you go on investing, you take away all the companies that are not well financed, that don't have any good earning per share, and you toss away all those companies. You take just the great companies, and then you just be careful about the price you pay. Then on average, you should make a better yield, a better return over many, many years. So that's the idea behind that. This quote of Warren Buffett is very interesting, and it can stir some emotions from you. Diversification is the protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you're doing. So, but Buffett is the advocate of buying a Vanguard index fund of the S&P 500. In fact, that is exactly what he instructed in his will for his late wife, or the foundation of what have you, to put some money in bonds and the rest in the S&P 500 index fund. So he says, if you don't know what you're doing, you diversify. That's okay. But if you know what you're doing, it doesn't make sense to diversify. He says that you should not put your eggs in many baskets. You just put them in the one basket, but you serve it very, 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 very much. And he has been like that all his life, because think about it. let's say you have a mutual fund and there is $1 billion in that mutual fund. Let's say, and the manager has great idea, great insight, and he said, "Wow, I know that company will skyrocket," but he puts, let's say, $1 million in that. The fund is worth $1 billion. He put $1 million. It's a 1%. Let's say he's right, but he just put 1 million. That does not change the needle. That does not change anything. If he thinks and he believes he's right, he should go and put 100 million, 10% of his fund, and because that's the maximum he can do. So when a manager is very sure about an idea and he wants to push the needle, he will put more money and it will make sense. And it will even make more sense with what I'm going to show you. It's called Focus Investing, The Super Investors of Buffettville. It's from the book, The Warren Buffett Portfolio, Mastering the Power of a Focus Investment. I cannot suggest you more strongly than I right now. Read that book. It's published in 1999. It hasn't been talked about. And it's one of the best secrets there is in the management of money. Let me show you and share with you. So what you have in front of you is an experiment they did and they built portfolios for 14 years. They followed them for 14 years. What they did is, as a base, they took the 500 companies of the S&P 500, plus they put 700 more companies in the basket to choose from. That companies they were taken from the Russell 2000 index of medium and small companies. So they have a base of 1,200 companies, and they randomly chose those companies to assemble portfolios, but not just one, 3,000 different portfolio, all randomly chosen, with an equal part in each. The only thing that changed in the whole thing is how many stocks they put into one portfolio, or a mutual fund, if you will. So the first experiment, they made that with 250 stocks. So in the first 3,000 portfolios, they put 250 stocks in each, and they made 3,000 portfolios. The maximum return they have attained in those portfolios was 16%. The minimum was 11%, so a narrower range. And out of those 3,000 portfolios, and that is where it hits, only 37%, 37 portfolio out of 3,000 just were able to beat the S&P 500 as an index over 14 years. Rinse and repeat. Same thing, but instead of putting 250 stocks in the portfolio, we just put 100 stocks. The maximum return goes up at 18, the minimum goes down at 10, and the number, watch that, the number of portfolio randomly, not managed, just you put 1% in each stock. That's it, that's all. And out of those 3,000 portfolio, some may have been very weird combination, you understand. So 337, we rinse and repeat, and then 3,000 more portfolio, but instead of 100, just 50 stocks in each. The maximum return is cranked up at 19, the minimum is at 8.6, and then you are at 549. And then the last but not the least, the top 15, the maximum return goes up at 26%, the minimum goes down at 4%, and the number of portfolio that were able to beat the S&P 500 is 808 out of 3,000 without management. So all things being equal, and that applies perfectly to the mutual fund industry. All things being equal, a manager that manages less company, that is more concentrated in his portfolio, has better odds to beat the market. He has better odds to underperform the market too, and that's why they don't do it. Because the contrary to that is that it can underperform. But if you are within the range of all your peers, you keep your job. And managers usually are managing to keep their jobs, not to outperform. So depending on what you're looking for, if you're truly looking for some mutual fund that want to outperform the market, you will want to go into that concept. Now, is Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway walking the walk and talking the talk? You bet they are. And their stock portfolio, and I will show you my source in a minute, but just to give you the big headlines. So just to show you if they are walking the walk and talking the talk, the Warren Buffett Berkshire Hathaway stocks portfolio right now, the valuation is not far from 200 billion. It's 199,378. Out of that, the top 10 stocks in weight, the weighting of the top 10 stocks they own is 79%. The top 15 stocks is 87%. That is concentration. And I will show you how I can calculate that. So first you go on cnbc.com/Berkshire Hathaway portfolio. I'm giving you the address right in the bottom, and they have been doing that for a number of years, maybe 10 years now, and they are very thorough and it's very good service for people like me. And then now they are just putting the companies in the alphabetical order, but you just have to go here and you click on the holding value, and then it ranks it. Right now it's 200 billion, so it changes every day. So $200 billion, and you see all the investment they have. Wells Fargo is at $30 billion. The second one is Kraft Heinz at 25. It's fun for me to look at. Apple is 22 billion, and when you add up the first 10 stocks that he owns, it makes up for about 80%. It has always been like that, so they are very, very concentrated. It has always been. And if you want to look on the internet of the super investors of Buffettville, you will encounter some great articles about that. How many other than Buffett have done that in the past, and it makes no sense to diversify too much if you want to beat the market. If you want to beat the market, you diversify or you buy an index fund. If you want to beat the market, you don't diversify that much.